There we are. We're live now. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. First of all, apologies for being a little bit late. We'll go on for our usual hour. Someone, I'm not going to mention their name, was just being really, really nasty in some emails and stuff like that. And when my emotions get up, it tends to affect my electronic equipment, and my camera wouldn't turn on for about 15 minutes. So apologies for that. I've had to just calm myself down.
Obsidian's good for that. A rock of obsidian will help absorb any of that energy and leave you better grounded.
I'll look into that, because my emotions do affect my equipment. But anyway, being with you ladies will calm me down. So of course, over here to my side, we have Lady G, looking gorgeous as always. And of course, wonderfully stylish as well. We have Lena, live down under, Sunday morning.
And I just want to say, it's not a real leopard.
So as usual, without further ado, let's just dive straight into the show, especially as we need to make up for time. But not to worry, everything will flow as usual. So question number one here, coming from Nick Minks. Oh, so just so you know where we're going around the world, it's actually quite broad. So we're going to be going to Texas. We're going to be looking at Hungary. We're going to be looking at Iran. There's a question on some rather dramatic predictions being given by some astrologers. And then, of course, we've got some duck l'orange and all of that kind of stuff as well. So first of all, we're going to Texas. So Nick Minks says, Hurricane Beryl is devastating the Caribbean and heading into the Gulf of Mexico. Do the cards indicate if she will dissipate or increase in strength? And should US Gulf states prepare for the worst? So one thing I want to add is, please as well, thoughts and prayers as well out to Judy Gulev, because she dropped me a message. She's coming on one of my retreats, and she's based in Galveston, Texas. And she told me earlier that hurricane has changed direction and it might get a direct hit right on her farm. So I think maybe shall we just read to see what the energy is? Hopefully it will dip down in energy. Shall we see that, ladies? Just a general read on that hurricane.
Sure. I'll be back in a moment. My hands.
Sure.
Yes. Okay.
And it's the sad thing, isn't it, Lady G, just like we've been what I've been predicting in the astrology, but also the cards. Remember we were saying water and storm related things because of the heat, moisture, hurricanes, all of this stuff. So what will it be like, Hurricane Beryl, for Texas? Oh dear. Oh, I just had a card drop out. Normally they lessen over land, but of course Galveston and that lot, and like you got Corpus Christi and all of that stuff, that's very much in the southern, right on the coastline pretty much, isn't it, those places?
Yeah.
Texas. Energy.
Well, I've been saying to people too for the last 2 weeks, not as a psychic, but just as someone who's seen a lot of summers come around, always be prepared for everything. You know, have water supplies, the pet cages, your nearest and dearest paperwork and stuff, have it already.
Yeah. Oh, interesting cards. Who's ready to go first then?
I can.
Go for it.
Okay, go. Yeah.
Yeah. You sure, Lady G? You can. Lady G, you can if you like.
Okay, it doesn't matter to me. It's all good. So at the center of it all, we have, you know, these changes happening, and they are not happy changes. People are having difficult conversations about them. Coming into it, we've got a lot of sun, global warming happening. And so the takeaway with that is the challenge. And the challenge in this is my card for, of course, this would be Texas and that type of enclave with a lot of water. Okay, that's what it's showing. And the world situation, same thing. A lot of this stuff is happening. Water. We've got the actions about, and people are pushed to the edge with it. So, yeah. Global warming, we're going to have more and more water. They still have this stuff going on in Ruidoso. First, they had the fires, and now they've got rain, flash flooding up there.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Lena, what do you have?
Well, these are pretty massive as well. It started with the death card here, and I just want to remind viewers, of course, it's not that literally mortal death, although there could be some in this context, but it's the last thing of denial of climate change, almost, in this refusal to acknowledge there's something wrong. It will affect a lot of people. I think we can expect quite a lot of evacuations with the Chariot card. So make sure your car's got petrol, make sure you have an evacuation goal, you know where you're going, okay, just to be on the safe side. And then after this, the rebuild, okay, step by step. And I think people will help each other in the rebuild. But be prepared. Be prepared.
Oh gosh, it makes me feel a bit really sad actually, because you know Judy's become a really good friend of mine. Actually, we're quite in regular contact as well as a client and stuff like that. And just knowing that it's changed direction and it's gone this way, and just looking at the cards that we have. So Judy, I hope you're in a safe place. She said she got her emergency bag packed, but she's also, there's lots of animals on the farms as well.
So many animals.
The chickens need to be protected, the horses. I'm worried about her beehives. She's got beehives, and and they've produced a lot of honey this year. Oh, bless. So anyway, but as you guys know, I just say what I see, like we do on this show. No sugarcoating, we just say what we see. So this is the card that fell out of the deck, which is hardly encouraging, is it? It's the Five of Pentacles, which is a card associated, unfortunately, with destitution and difficulties, feeling out in the cold. So this might suggest there could be a bit of damage there, maybe even a bit of flooding and stuff like that. It depends at what category it is, because it's been so warm. Apparently the storm has picked up strength again over the Gulf of Mexico, which is especially hot these days. And it could be hitting potentially as a category 4. I hope it isn't. Let's hope it's downgraded to a tropical storm. But that's not very, it's a bit ominous, that, isn't it? If we look here in the obstacle position, we get the Ace of Pentacles. So, of course, this is talking about costs, the expense of the cleanup in this context. Yeah, it's probably going to cost quite a bit. However, the next 3 cards are quite revealing, because what we have here, we have the King of Pentacles here. So very often shows up as duck l'orange, but it's not specifically duck l'orange in this case. I think this is talking about the money men and women, or the institutions, the moneyed institutions. But the next card reveals their stance quite clearly, which we see as the Hanged Man. So I think this is just like, like the ladies are saying, the resistance by the establishment, or some of the moneyed set, the climate change deniers and stuff like that. And it's like, how many more storms and stuff need to happen for people to get it? Like, it's not our imagination. It really isn't. I mean, hurricanes are not a figment of the imagination. And then we've got here the King of Wands as the outcome. This is often I refer to as an entrepreneurial card. This could also speak about local businesses and stuff like that. So I think once as the business case is increasingly made in terms of like the sheer cost of these rebuilds, then I think that might start shifting some of the more entrenched opinions, which is what this kind of hangman is talking about, but it also means a change of perspective as well. So anything to add to that, ladies?
Well, Edith says Trump was laughing at a rally this past week saying there's no such thing as climate change, and most of his crowd were laughing.
Yeah.
I think what happens too, like I grew up with cyclones. Every year we had cyclones, everything would wash away and the roof would blow off, and all of it happened every year. And the point is, things can still change with climate change. Even if you're used to it in your particular area, they change their trajectories and so forth, and it is different,
Yeah, and intensity and stuff like that as well, isn't it?
And frequency.
Oh, gosh, yeah, frequency as well and intensity. I want to say a thank you to Tribal Woman here. Hopefully that's going to click up. I'm celebrating my birthday with 3 of my favorite friends. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Tribal Woman. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. And thank you to everyone who is joining us live as well. Everyone's piling in the chat. Where are we? Oh, look, we've got quadruple 1. So what's that? 1,000. Oh, well, it's just moved, but it was 1,111 at one point.
I love that.
It's just skipped up again. Are we ready for the next question? All right, let's dive in because we've got really quite a full show. So Nick Mintz again, but this time it's about Viktor Orban. So Hungary's Viktor Orban, having visited the Ukraine last week, and while holding the EU presidential 6 months residency. So just for those that don't know, the EU has a rotating presidency in terms of one country holds sway for 6 months, basically, and then it moves to the next. And for this next 6 months, it's Hungary. So EU presidential 6 months residency has hopped on a plane to see his mate in Russia. So apparently he's gone to visit Putin. EU leaders aren't happy. Do the cards show if he's really negotiating peace or passing on info to help the Russian war effort? I suspect the latter, but let's see what the cards have to say.
Okay.
To Orban.
Viktor Orban. And Dave from Moonride is in Hungary as we speak.
Really? Will he be having some borscht? I think they have borscht as well in Hungary.
Yes,
don't they?
I'm sure they do.
And goulash. Isn't goulash a famous?
Goulash is famous.
They like paprika out there, I think, as a main spice in their goulash.
Oh, God.
Not visited Hungary yet. I'm not really have any detailed plans to go, but I understand Budapest is beautiful.
Yes.
Who's ready to go?
I can.
Go for it.
These are quite full-on cards for this meeting. And I've moved to the old Thoth deck. Haven't used it for a couple of years. This is the devil and a partnership with the devil. I'll just leave that symbology out there for a moment. Okay. And then there's the 5 of Wands, which is trouble and strife. Next door to, weirdly, abundance. So it's like the flow of money to and from, this is how I read it, to and from the oligarchs has hit a snag because of the war. So the oligarchs aren't happy. So my question is, in my head was, is Orban supporting the oligarchs in the sense of saying to Putin, maybe it's time to wind up so your friends can make more money again? Because there's movement after this in the form of the Chariot, which is a much more aggressive, domineering chariot than we normally see. And the last card, which is what got me thinking, was Two of Swords. Like, Putin has to make a decision, but in the Thoth deck, oddly, it's the peace card. So I think Orban was actually lobbying, not because he's a pacifist, but because of money.
Wow. Interesting.
Because of what? I didn't hear the last.
Well, I think he's gone to talk to Putinska about stopping the war, not because he's a good guy and likes peace, but because it's slowing down the money.
Very interesting.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, mine has gone off on a tangent to a totally different direction. It's about Trump and his possibly loss of the election, because they know, Trump says, I could end it in 1 minute. Before I even get sworn in, I could end this whole thing. So going into it, just, Ukraine, just give all your place to Putin, and we're all good. We're all happy. So, it's about when he's seeing things from a different view. Things are, again, hung up. It's not going well. So he was talking about a new action, with the challenge being fishtails that they're trying to sell, and going forward, taking action. So I think he was talking also about, putting more stuff behind Trump, because if Trump goes in, then they have much more of a good buddy pal to help them with what they want to do.
Oh, interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. My cards are quite varied as well. So, but then it all kind of makes sense. So if we look here, we got 1,302 of you with us now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Okay, here we've got the Knight of Pentacles, which we know is often referred to as the loyal knight. Yeah. And obviously no prizes for guessing who Viktor Orban is more likely to be loyal to. Yeah. Pretty obvious. But also as well, the shadow interpretation of this card can also be the mercenary. So I think he's going there as an envoy, kind of almost / mercenary, as the one of the hands, as it were, one of the maybe one of the puppets of Putin. If we look at the next card, we've got the Page of Wands. Now, pages, of course, are all about messages, and very much the Page of Wands is known as the orator, but it's turned up in the obstacle position. So is this the case that the loyal knight is coming with a message to Putin that may not necessarily be something that Putin wants to hear?
Yeah, that's my vote.
Yeah, it may not be what the loyal knight literally is coming with, a message that he may not want to hear. And the middle card, I think, is the giveaway. Look at this.
Yeah.
10 of Swords. So could it actually be that Viktor Orban has gone and had a chat with Putinska about the costs of this war, about how much he's potentially able to help him, particularly as being, the leader for 6 months? Because look at the next two cards. We see here, we have got the Hierophant here, and the Hierophant is about rules, regulations, and the established order. Could this be the EU? Because Hungary is the current president for 6 months. So it's almost he's going there as the Pope, as it were. Yeah, because he's having to speak on behalf of all of Europe. Yeah, whether he wants to or not. They have the temporary presidency for the next 6 months. And then we see the outcome card here is the Five of Wands, which of course is talking about conflict, disruption, etc. I think this literally is the war. So my feeling is, I think, you know, going along with what the ladies were saying, the loyal knight has returned to Putinska with a message saying you might want to consider maybe ending this war because it's costing a lot of money and a lot of doodahs, and there's all these different kind of problems. I'm here as the official representative of the European authorities, and you know, you need to kind of look at this fighting and all of this stuff, but also as well, if he's trying to aid Putinska, could it be that he may be trying to facilitate discord in Europe as well? Because if we think as well, look what's going on in Europe. I mean, look what's happening in France. My gosh, if you think the UK election was eventful, which has been seismic, and of course, political earthquakes, remember I said? So
yeah,
the Tories
and I've been talking about political earthquakes. Yeah.
Right, the Tories are absolutely out. But there is discord within Europe as well, because if France goes, you know, more the other way, that's also a problem as well. So I think it's a combination of like, look, Putin, maybe try and find a way out here. But at the same time, he's like, well, Europe is also on the edge. So I think he's speaking out both sides of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to add to that, ladies?
No.
No. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right. Oh, this is really interesting. And actually, let's see. Let's see what the cards have to say. So now we're going in our esoteric aeroplane to Iran. Yeah. Remember, I was speaking of political earthquakes. Well, listen to this. So Nick Mink says, reformist Masoud Pezeshkian, I hope I've said that right, has been elected as Iran's new president. So Iran now has a new president. Remember the other one, was he died in a helicopter crash or something like that? And it says, beating his hardline conservative rival. Does his win mean the removal of the morality police and more freedom for women, or will the old guard still refuse to move? Good question, eh?
Yeah.
And this was from where? For where?
Iran.
Iran?
Yeah, Iran. So Iran has a new leader, basically, because I think the prime minister or president, he died in a helicopter crash, wasn't it, or something like that. Not many tears were wept for him, it seems. And this is the new leader, but he's beaten the hardline conservatives, and they're talking about maybe lessening the restriction on the head covers and stuff like that. So that's a bit of a political earthquake as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Let me just click up here. Oh my goodness, thank you. I just click up on, thank you, Joan Marie, for your donation, much appreciated. Thank you, Annie Hamlet, for your donation. Thank you, Christopher, for your donation. And thank you, Maxine, for your donation. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you for all of the support of the channel.
Okay, I can go if you like.
Go for it.
Okay, so he represents an attempt at a new change. There's energy to the fact he's got the appointment and he has beat the hardliners. But with these cards, it's not going to translate on the ground for women. Look at these. Right, he simply doesn't have the power. It's still ruled by the Ayatollahs. But this is the beginning of the change, because people are going to have to sit down and talk, because there's going to be expectations of things being more liberal, then they won't be. And so people are wanting to go, why? And with the world here, young Iranian women too tend to be very well educated. They're very highly educated. Their mothers and grandmothers had a much freer life than they did. It's the opposite of a lot of places. They've seen their rights rolled back. So I think this is them bursting out on the world stage again. To sum that up, not now, but it's going to lead to that change.
Fascinating. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, at the center of it, I had that abuse of power, the divergent path that they had been on. And unfortunately, coming into it, we have a lot of this disappointment, difficulties for people. They're feeling a bit out in the cold with things, that things are not moving as rapidly as they'd like. And the challenge is still this burden that they're carrying, with the outcome of still not being real happy with it mentally and physically, having difficulties still with what's going on. So not a quick fix.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. My cards are kind of echoing something similar here. Maybe a mixture of hope and then some challenges. So the first card that we get here is the Death card. So the Death card is making its second appearance this night already, and we're only 2 readings in. However, this is the third one. So, of course, death doesn't always imply literal death, but it always implies change, transformation, a change and transformation that can't be resisted, because you got the Pope pleading here for the king's life, and he's being trampled underfoot. So one can say at least he has beat his staunch conservatives. So that already, I suppose, is a bit of progress and showing that the old guard are being a little bit trampled underfoot. However, look at the obstacle, just in case we weren't sure. We've got the Emperor, the patriarchy. The obstacle is the patriarchy, the hardcore authoritarian. This obviously can be, the Ayatollah and stuff like that. And, Lena's absolutely right. Iranian women are very well educated. In fact, my brother's partner, she's Iranian, and I've got a good friend of mine, Payvand, who's an actor. And she's a fabulous actor, and but even they have to be careful of like the Ayatollah, and they cannot return even now. They cannot literally return to their mothers and grandmothers' country.
It's shocking.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. But look, messages are being put forward, maybe a little tentatively, but here we are. We have the Page of Wands making his return, and this is the orator after all, and he is a young card, of course. All the pages are young, so I think the voices of the young are being heard to an extent. However, the next two cards, Wands again, really does show, yes, it is a battle. I think this is the people of Iran feeling embattled, because it's hard for us not to take for granted the freedoms that we have. In Iran, when you speak out, you really do get beaten up. You really do get disappeared. You really do get abused and all of this kind of stuff. And we see where obviously Duck L'Orange is wanting to take things, but I think this is the Iranian people. But also as well, this could also speak about the president, the new president himself, having to negotiate these difficult battles. But it shows that he's determined. Outcome card is the Five of Wands. So Wands again. So there is discord, there is disagreement about potentially how to move forward, probably because of the patriarchy wanting to maintain things. But again, this is a dynamic card of movement. So when you look at the top and tail of the reading, it does mean there is dynamic change. How quickly it will come, we'll have to see, but things are changing. So I suppose that is a positive. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Yeah, Minxie says in the comments, the turnout in Iran was 50% higher for the runoff than previous votes. In other words, people came out in much bigger numbers for the runoff.
Wow.
So that shows courage. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then someone here said obsidian and black tourmaline. Yes, I might get a little bit of this stuff to, you know, to ward off some of the douchebaggery that sometimes comes our way, unfortunately, as YouTubers, you know. Occupational hazard. And some what's just saying here? Lovely to see. What's this here? Lovely to see you all in the house, especially Lady G. Go girl. Lovely. Thanks so much. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next question. So we've got some Duck Orange and more US stuff after this, but I thought it was important to address this one here. So Manuela Orchid has said, hi, Hogian ladies. Many other astrologers, mostly Western, are talking as if there will be a big eruption / war / explosion politically in the week of the 13th of July to the 18th of July 2024. Would you lovelies draw a card with the question? And she's saying of what's happening in that week and in general with the world. So she says, thank you, much love from Germany. So it's a big question. I've obviously got my astrology bits to add to that, but I want to see what you get, ladies. So yeah. What do the cards say? What can the cards tell us about that particular week in July from 13th. The 12th to the 18th?
12th to the 18th.
Are we doing a full read or a one card?
No, let's do a full read. Let's do a full read because oh, the jumpers. We've got two jumpers that just leapt out. Wow. Yeah, we'll do a few full read because it's a big question and our cards all together should be able to answer it. What's happening in that week?
Running interference.
Oh, interesting mix.
Oh, this is cute.
Okay, who's ready to go first?
I'm not yet. I've got to think about these.
Okay, I'll go. Underneath of it all, it's saying we need to look a little deeper at some things. It's about the direction that things are going. Now, this could be either democracy or it could also be the DOJ and the stuff that's happening with courts, etc., the direction of that. Because going into it, people are feeling a bit out in the cold, a little distanced, and they're, of course, wanting a victory. The challenge is overcoming this, nightmare scenario they've been going through. And the outcome is we need more sharing. So it looks like, whatever's going to crop up, it's going to cause people to share more and look a little deeper at the situations that are happening.
Fascinating. Lena, what do you have?
Well, they're big cards. It's weird working with the Thoth again. Okay. So here we have the Princess of Wands. It looks like a set from Game of Thrones or something, doesn't it? So again, this is female energy, right? And these are cards of control, right? We've got these two cards, which are all about control of the population, control of women, control of people's minds, control. And people are sleepwalking into a situation of giving power to people who simply aren't up to it. And that this actually, then we have the Magician. So I think no matter what happens in those days, it could be a real lunge for power and craziness. But we have the Fool and the Magician, and both of those can go either way. So the Fool can become a leap of faith that's needed. And with the magician, it can be bad juju or good juju. So it might get so bad that people wake up and act on the other side of this week. I love this magician image here. It's different from our usual. You know, there's more like exalting energy coming out of it.
Yeah, it feels more positive on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think gruesome and then enough of this, you know.
Wow. Very interesting. I just want to say here, thank you to Kia Aoki for your donation. Thanks very much. And of course, it's shared with the ladies as well. In fact, it reminds me, actually, I've got to do a little something after the show. And the details, if you want to subscribe to either Lady G or Lena, will be in the video description below. I don't think I had enough time to paste it over, but I do it post-show. So once the show's done, all of that details are up. We currently have 1,670 of you with us right now. So big love. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. And please don't forget as well to subscribe if you'd like to support the channel. Right, here's my cards. All right, so it's kind of like, because I think I can see this. I think I know what this is. But just to give a little bit of the historical, the astrological tinge. Why are so many astrologers talking about this week in particular, whether they're Vedic or if they're Western tropical? The main reason why is it's to do with a fixed star in the heavens called HoGaLe's. Yeah, HoGaLe's. Now, HoGaLe's is known as the Medusa. Yeah, it's said to be where the Gorgon's head was cut off. It's also known as the demon star. Yeah. And HoGaLe's, out of all of the kind of unlucky, fortunate stars that one could be born under, like this one has the reputation for being the worst. I mean, it is known as that, unfortunately. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's there in all of the ancient books about this stuff. And what's making it interesting is, so this star HoGaLe's goes from around about 3 degrees of sidereal Taurus. In Western tropical, they'll have it around 26 degrees, 27. And the trouble is that Uranus is currently very, very close to this star. And next week is going to be pretty much right on it. And Uranus is the planet of sudden shocks and surprises. But to make it even more intense, Mars, transiting Mars, which is currently in sidereal Aries right now, is going to be on this star from next week. So you've got the planet of sudden shocks and surprises coming together with the planet of war. So obviously everyone's like, well, bloody hell, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Good. Now, I must correct something, because in my Thursday fry-up, I said, oh, isn't that the time that Trump is, due to be sentenced? But of course, it's been delayed.
Yes.
It's been delayed. Is it 18th of September it's been delayed to now? Right. So this is probably something else. But look, I'll read my cards and see what you think. All right. First card. Yeah. So whatever it is, it looks like it might be something a bit ropey. Either way, it's going to be a sense of emotions. And this card also deals with betrayal as well. Yeah, so some people might be feeling there might be a sense of betrayal and stuff like that. HoGaLe's as well, this energy of this star, it is known for losing one's head. People can overreact. And haven't we been seeing quite a bit of that recently as well? I mean, there's a lot going on. But look, we've got the 8 of Cups. Someone's leaving. Yeah, someone's leaving, or someone's walking away from something. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All I can do is say what I see. Yeah. Say what I see. If we look here, though, in the middle, we've got the 6 of Cups, which is about a sense of nostalgia, wanting to go back to the past. I mean, my goodness. I mean, don't we all? You know what, on Facebook, I got this, when they say, this is what you did 5 years ago, and it was my friend's wedding, my neighbor's wedding in 2019, and I just think the world has changed so much since 2020, hasn't it? Completely different world we're living in. It's like another life. I look back at the pictures, I barely even recognize myself. But anyway, since we're talking about global events, look who's shown up. Duck L'Orange, yeah. As you know, this is normally a very positive card, but when we're talking about, you know, politics, etc., as you know, this is, oh, I need to cover it for the algorithm. I've got to cover the nipples. Sorry about that. You know, the algorithm is very touchy. Anyway, so this could involve something to do with Duck L'Orange, yeah? But if we want to have the, no, I'll show you the last card. And then look, the outcome card here is the 9 of Swords. So my instinct is, there is something that is going to cause anxiety and worry, most likely to do with something to do with Duck L'Orange, but can't be exactly him. It could be someone else, another narcissist, but it's to do with nostalgia, wanting to go back to the past in some way. People are walking away from someone or something, and there's heartache. So it does look like something's going to happen around that time.
Well, it's the GOP convention. Oh my God.
Of course.
Yes. Cuts right through that. It's going to be.
Should we read on the GOP convention?
Yeah, let's do a one card pull on that. Yeah, Duck L'Orange. Wow. Okay. I forgot.
Sorry, are we going to do a one carder on that?
Yeah, let's do a one card pull. Improv, guys. Here we are. Improv. Let's do a one card pull on the GOP and see convention, see what's going on there. How interesting. All right. GOP convention. All right, are we ready? So after 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh my word!
Look, the 5 of Pentacles is back again. 3rd time out tonight. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, if we're looking at it as the convention, the people are walking past the light. They refuse to look at the light or for the light. They will just go on supporting this stuff. But I think it's going to be volatile as well. But yes. Lady G.
Yeah, so mine is, you know, they're looking, you know, far off and trying to figure out their next move.
Yeah. And if we look here, look, I get the 2 of Pentacles. You know what? All is not well in Denmark, you know. All is not well, because this card here, the 2 of the Pentacles is a tricky card. It tends to deal with turbulence, because it's not only, I mean, this can also be interpreted not only as a card as trying to balance budgets and money and all that stuff, because I'm sure there's quite a few even in the GOP that are a bit annoyed that Duck L'Orange has come on and like a limpet, like a vampire, and sucked all the blood out of, you know, everything, because he's siphoning off, remember, he's siphoning off all the funds for his own money, and they're paying his legal fees. But look, we see it's stormy seas in the background. This can also be a card associated with manipulation. So we can't say exactly what it's going to be, but I don't think it's plain sailing. These aren't cards of plain sailing. So there could be something interesting happening with the energies, guys.
And with money, in the sense of they're not getting in as much as they thought, or like you say, he's running off with what's coming in.
Yeah. Maybe some people down the ticket, as they say, are feeling shunned and out in the cold, because Duck L'Orange is basically, he's got the, what is it, the daughter-in-law in charge of the purse strings. Interessante. Anything to add to that, ladies?
No, we'll keep an eye on it, though.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye. And of course, it could be some other major event in the world. I hope it's not a physical earthquake, because unfortunately, Uranus in the sign of Taurus can mean those things as well. So let's just, hopefully it's just political rather than physical, you know, cataclysmic style stuff. All right. So question number 5. So this has come in from G. Carland. And they say Donald Trump denies claims he is aware of and intends to enact Project 25. I mean, really? Please. So, you have to. I mean, I shouldn't laugh because it's so ridiculously serious. Do you know what I mean? It's just so beyond. But anyway, I'll carry on. If he wins the presidency, so he said he won't enact Project 2025 if he wins the presidency in November. The Heritage Foundation implies otherwise. It's crucial we question the credibility of each. So who is telling the truth? Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't be looking to Duck L'Orange if you were a truth seeker, would you?
No.
I mean, really.
Indeed.
I doubt he knows what Project 25 is.
I think otherwise, but I'm going to see what my cards have to say.
Let's have a go. Let's have a go.
Okay, Project 25 and Duck L'Orange. I mean, he's probably sniffed the air and realizes it might be a bit of a vote loser and is trying to distance himself.
But he could change his mind next week because whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
I could go.
Yeah, go for it. Oh my God, these cards have come back.
So what's going on underneath of it all? The truth, the cup of abominations is overflowing. So he's trying to temper it a little bit with what they're working on. He knows exactly what it is because it's all about this obstructing what they're sharing. He doesn't want it to come out. Now that it's coming out and it's so toxic, he's saying, I don't know anything about it. I just, just like he didn't know E. Jean Carroll, and he said that's his wife.
Yes, that's right.
Never seen her.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So going into it, it's about, the message of where this is going, wants to keep the lid on things, doesn't want it out there because the challenge is what he's selling. Yep, the merchant, what he's trying to sell. And so now he's just trying to figure out the next move. What can he do now that they're finding out what it actually is? And it's so toxic. It's like, I don't know a thing about it. Yeah.
Vintage Duck L'Orange, isn't it? Vintage Duck L'Orange.
Yes.
Lena, what do you have?
Well, yes. So judgment is upon them in terms of the collective here. When you're in opposition, you can say anything. For 4 years, you can run at the mouth and promise the world and move on, But now, the time's come. Oh, quick, how can we steal this election, guaranteed, right? That's their actual goal, that's in the aims of it all. The news isn't going to be all good. Some of it could be quite stinky, right? I think this is coming back from focus groups and other sort of sources of what's happening. The eternal arguments, in other words, we've got to behave this way or seem to behave that way, or it doesn't matter, I'll do what I want, around and around, because he can't change, right? He's incapable of change. So this is, I think, the people around Duck L'Orange going, do we manage him like this or like that or like that, right? I think it's them, not him. And I think they will lose votes over this. Yeah.
Fascinating. One thing I find absolutely remarkable is that no matter how much we shuffle our cards, Do you see how many keep coming back? Because with these themes, how many of them keep
extraordinary.
Repeating? I've done so many shuffles, and it's pretty much the same 10 cards that have come back. Just want to quickly say we have 1,826 of you with us here right now. So thank you so much, everyone. I think that's a bit of a record, guys. I think that's a bit of a record. Please don't forget as well to like and subscribe to support the channel. And the ladies' channels are in the video description as well. So don't forget to support them as well. All right, here we are. Here's my cards. So look at that. Again, so much unity there, synchronicity between the cards. I very often pick up the ladies' cards. But look, here we go. Yeah. So look, we got the Smug Merchant. Yeah, so obviously this is Duck LaRange. Yeah. Like, huh? Really? Project 25? Who are they again? Oh, I'm not sure if I've heard of them. Yeah, Heritage. He even said this with the backdrop of the Heritage Foundation logo on the back of one of these. It's just, But this is what Duck LaRange does. It's one of his vintage tactics. And basically, if it's not written down and attributed to him, and even then, if it's there with his signature, he just gets the justices to lie for him. But this is one of his classic moves, because he doesn't want to spoil his. He's feeling good at the moment. Yeah. However, Project 25 is starting to have what they describe in politics as cut through, and this cut through, it means ordinary people are starting to join a few dots at last. One thing I will say, I have to have a little rant about the mainstream media. Wow. They have left it far, far too late to be talking about Project 25 now. I mean, I'm glad they're doing it, but where was this conversation last year when they published their manifesto and stuff like that? Yeah. I mean, like, come on, like, do your job. Yeah. So now people are starting to be like, oh, not sure about this. As usual, when we're talking about the GOP, look at that. We always get this card, Six of Cups. Look, they're in nostalgia land. They're in it's the magic roundabout. They're just in this misty world, trying to turn the clock back to a time of their halcyon salad days where they felt like they were on top of the world, and it's just ridiculous. If we look here, though, this is going to have a chilling effect on the electorate. I think the more that people really actually begin to grapple with what Project 2025 is about, and it's heinous, by the way, and then when we also consider that we've got those justices who have basically given carte blanche to Duck LaRange to basically say, yes, you can get rid of a political opponent. I mean, who would have thought that in this day and age is almost beyond comprehension, but that's basically what they've said. When people realize this could be a bit of a death knell for that policy, because he's now been empowered. Well, Biden could use it as well. They now basically, the presidency now has the power of a king. If I were Biden, I would use it. But just in case we weren't sure what this was about, look at this. We have the emperor come out at the end. So it's like this strange nostalgia has produced, they want to create an emperor. They want this kind of thing. This is Duck LaRange, who's obviously enjoying, the prospect of having this power. But I just think the more people know about Project 25 and what it actually means, I think the more that will be turned off. The rusted on will always stay, of course. We know that. But we need to think about the independent voters, because they're the ones that are actually going to decide this election. Yeah, them. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Yeah, we've had a lot of requests in the comments here for the Bard on Project 25.
Oh, of course.
Individuals.
Why not? Why not? Didn't we do them a couple of weeks ago? But you know what? They're so heinous. They're worth another one. They're worth another one. Whose turn to call out? I think is it Ganga? Is it Lady G?
I think it's Lena's turn.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yes, the lady in leopard today.
The lady in
leopard lady. All right, so here we are.
It's perfect for the ball.
Okay, the Bard on Project 25.
Project 2025. You tell me where to stop, Lena. And we'll
Ready, stop.
Oh, how interesting. All right. Oh, okay. This is really interesting. Okay, so this one, it says here, so this is from Troilus and Cressida. So this is the Bard's take on Project 2025. The plague of Greece upon thee, thou mongrel beef-witted lord. Yeah. The plague of Greece upon thee.
Beef-witted. I love it.
Beef-witted lord. And then on the next one, this is from Henry IV, part 1. There is no more faith in thee than in a stewed prune.
Oh, ouch. Yes.
Yeah. So it's basically said, like, yeah, for me, that's even more pertinent. There is no more faith in thee than a stewed prune, because it's not genuine. It's all dressed up.
Yes.
As this Christian values and blah, blah, blah. And it's just a power grab. It's just fascism. It's hollow. Totally. It's empty. It's only about power. That's all it's about. Wow. Very interesting. All right. Well, we've got, oh God, this really is a record. We've got 1,914. My goodness. It's astonishing, guys. All right. Are we ready for the next question?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. So let's see how we're doing on time. I think we've got time to squeeze in one more. Let's put here. So, yeah, so look, this is coming from M. Wallace. And she says, once felon 45 is finally gone, will it be as agonizingly slow to finally rid the world of his MAGA-minded politicians currently in office? So this is more like after a time when there is no longer Duck Orange, what is that energy of expunging that MAGA flavor from US politics? Let's maybe look at that.
Okay. Because that's what we've been saying for quite some time, which is Trump is one thing, but his legacy is Trumpism. You know, meaning that bad behavior with MAGA files. It's a good question.
That's a good question. A good one to end on.
It'll take us long. It'll take us long.
MAGA. How long will it take to expunge? And just an honorable mention in terms of questions. Someone asked about Keir Starmer, who obviously is the new prime minister, and they wanted me to do the Bard on him, but I think it's too soon.
Too soon.
He's only a day or two, literally a day or two into his premiership, and we don't know if it's going to be douchebaggery or not. So we need to maybe check in a year to see what he's truly about. Got to give the guy a chance, you know, at least.
Yeah.
Ooh. You will not believe the card that has come back again. Anyway, like a bad penny tonight. Honest to God, I've never seen a card come back that often. Who's ready to go?
I can. Okay, so how long the MAGA stuff's going to hang around? At the moment, they're quite strong because they fortify each other. But as the confusion sets in, when the dear leader isn't there, then it will devolve into, you know, power games. With this strength card, there will be power games on how they'll probably have workshops. They'll probably have conventions. How can we rip off the electorate now? We need a new technique. We need a new spokesperson. But I think they're going to hang around for a while with this card. They're not going to evaporate overnight. But over time, with the new perspective, I think they will. And I predict more generally they're going to cannibalize themselves once he goes. This is a personality cult.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to have the pulling power down the track.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it all, I have the evangelicals are going to retreat a bit. That's going to happen pretty quickly once he's gone. There will be a retreat and eating away at the fishtails that he's been putting out there. And also, when it comes to the people that have been backing him, now they still have the other things with heritage and the other ones, all of that. But the sharing is going to become more difficult. They're going to have to fight their way through with it when it comes to being out there and putting out this message. So it's going to start to fall a bit flat. They're still going to try to do it because people are more aware of Project 2025 now. So, yeah.
Fascinating. And did you see how often the Two of Cups has come up tonight as well?
Yes.
So you see, we shuffle the cards, guys, thoroughly, and we say what we see, but how that emerging theme of the whole night, these cards just keep coming back. So let me just say as well, just a few more thank yous here. So thank you, Joanne, and thank you so much, Lily Rose, as well, for your donations. Much appreciated. So many of you in the chat as well. And then someone's saying here, Azon, may your energies turn Texas blue this November, and may the people there turn blue as blue can be, well, for their own sakes, and blessings to you all. Yes, Oompa Loompa blue. Let's just see this. We have to see what happens. Okay, so Marga, after Duck L'Orange is gone, whenever that is, not we're actively wishing for his death or anything like that, but post Trump-pocalypse, post-Trump-pocalypse. So if we look here, we've got the High Priestess. Now, of course, normally when we're dealing with ordinary people, this is talking about people getting spiritual and stuff like that. But this really, we can interpret it as the machinations. Yeah, so there'll be the machinations. There'll be because it is a cult. Like for me, when I just look at it in this context, look, cult. Yeah, cult. Yeah, really it is. So it's almost like, and then look, if we see here, the entrepreneur and businessman is coming out in the obstacle position. So it's almost like he is the high priest, obviously not priestess, but the high priest business cult figure, of the whole MAGA movement. They will have to look to other places, other figureheads to see where their next ships and stuff like that will come in. So obviously they're going to fish around for a new leader, of course. But if we look, it's going to be impoverished without Duck L'Orange there, because look, they're a very discombobulated bunch. Without that kind of maniacal kind of toxic glue that Duck L'Orange, provides, and it's just made up of a lot of disenfranchised people anyway. And I think it will just begin to wither and fragment. However, they may try and come out with a new message of seduction. Who knows? Maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene or something will be made the high priestess of it all, if she's even still knocking around. Who knows? But I think they're still going to keep trying with their messaging, with their message of seduction. But I'm not sure how successful it can be, not with this card here. So once he's gone, I think it will slowly dissipate. But it's a cult. It's a cult. It really is. It really is a cult. So we'll have to see. Can you believe how much the time has gone? Oh my gosh, yes. Another. Thank you so much, Julianne Jones. Thanks, always spending part of Saturday. HoGaLe's, no longer blah, 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 discos. All right. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Julianne. So the time has gone so quickly. Thank you, everyone, for
Lena
joining
has
us.
something she's...
Oh, go on. Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, my body language, Lady G. I'm doing that. I just want to share this quote from the comments here from Chuck. It's a quote from Theodore Adorno, the Italian writer. I love this. Fear and destructiveness are the major emotional sources of fascism, right? Make people afraid. Eros, love belongs mainly to democracy. So thank you, Adorno.
Thank you. That's a lovely message to finish on, isn't it? So thank you guys, everyone, for joining us tonight. That is a bit of a record for us. I mean, that's really up there. Yeah, that's a real record. Yeah, very, very, very close to it. So big love, everyone. Much, much appreciated. We, of course, will be back next week, of course, to answer your questions, which we love doing. I hope you found the show interesting. Again, a lot of variety there for everyone. As you know, we keep it global here in the esoteric aeroplane, but it seems it's not going to be all plain sailing for that GOP convention either.
Oh no, I think it's going to be crazy town.
So there's some interesting stuff there. So we'll have to see how that manifests itself, and what, Uranus, remember, expect the unexpected, is going to bring conjunct that star HoGaLe's. Ooh, so hold on to your underwear, folks. But it will pass. All of these transits, they do pass in the end. So thanks so much again. Happy Sunday as well to anyone who's watching us on Sunday, and we will see you all next week. So big love and a big bye-bye for now.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.